give him a free 8x10.
Hey, you're like Tom Likas. We've got
Got 3 roll-ups and a juice box for him. Yeah.
we have got a interesting show this evening. It is as one person used to say, your new Thursday night tradition. And we're talking to pro wrestlers, and tonight we have Colt Killbane and Mr. Merrick McMichaels with us. And so Colt...
Merrick is frozen.
No, there he is.
No, I'm good. You got terrible service.
No. I got perfectly fine service. You're frozen.
Perfectly fine.
Right, that Boost Mobile is so good, man.
Those damn AirPods, they're messing up your connection.
Hey, Derek likes his AirPods. He thinks they're pretty fucking
I love
cool.
my AirPods.
They froze his computer.
So, I hear all sorts of things about Colt Killbane. Tonight is going to be damn entertaining. I guess we'll start out. How did you get started doing this pro wrestling thing? I guess we'll start there, and then we'll eventually get into the rats and you calling nicknames to the video production people, all these things.
Yeah, well, I grew up watching it like everyone else in the professional business, and was playing football throughout middle school and the beginning of high school, and realized I don't like a good 93% of these assholes I'm playing football with. So let me do something I'll enjoy. So I found a local company here in Tulsa and started training and haven't looked back since.
That's great. Which one have you trained with in Tulsa? There used to be a ton of them. Is there still a bunch, or is there just one down there now?
There's like 2 now, which is WFC and Body Progression. But okay. I started training with Steel Rage.
Okay, I knew some guys from there.
Yeah, and then they shut down in 2017, 2016, something like that. So
I'm trying to think of his name. Brent Albright. Wasn't that the one he started with, or is that somebody different he started with down there?
I'm not sure. I don't know him.
Oh, you're good, brother. I didn't know. Sorry.
So Colt Killbane, how do you come up with this moniker?
The Murder Man?
Yes.
I didn't come up with it, actually. My buddy Thrash, who also works for Kansas Wrestling Revolution and is the other half of Legend Has It, he introduced me to his roommates at the time as Killbane instead of my shoot name. And his roommate's wife could not remember my name, but she remembered it had the word kill in it. So she just started calling me Murder Man out of the blue. And at the time, I was going through like a transition of gimmicks because my old gimmick, I came out in a Letterman jacket because I was just trying to look like an asshole. And everyone was like thinking I was wanting to be a jock gimmick or a frat gimmick, and that's the furthest thing from who I am. So I was like, I gotta switch this up, but can't call myself the brand anymore. So I was driving in the car one day, like, what am I gonna call myself? And the Murder Man popped in my head. Of like, I've heard that somewhere, but I can't remember. So I was like, I'm using it though. And that's
it's marketable.
Story, man.
Yep,
that's cool.
It's a marketable deal.
Now, see, if you want to sit there and market yourself as an asshole, you just got to get a faux hawk and drink White Claw coming to the ring. So
I know a guy.
I know a guy.
I do too. He's actually a pretty good dude, so I just tease him all.
Yeah,
kayfabe.
He's still frozen. He's still frozen on my computer.
So, how do you end up in Kansas Wrestling Revolution, or how does Derek end up recruiting you to come to Kansas Wrestling Revolution, or
work release, or what? Or
I really don't remember. I remember seeing a poster for the first initial show, The Purge. I was like, this looks really cool. I'm gonna hit him up. And the guy I was actually traveling with at the time, who doesn't deserve the credit of being put over on a broadcast of which I am on.
Wow.
Like, I already got you booked on that show. And I was like, all right, cool. So we go up there, and him and I worked that night, but not putting him over, so that's beside the point. But him and I work, and been with KWR ever since, and it's probably the best independent company I've ever worked for.
So
Man
how
after my heart.
how do you get recruited into this 1% thing, or did they just say, hey, you're in it?
I don't really remember, honestly. I just remember waking up one day, and all of a sudden I'm throwing up my pinky, and I'm in the 1%. White Claws, getting sponsorships. It was amazing.
It was a lot more complex than that. I can tell you that.
Maybe for you, I just woke up one day, and you're like, you're sponsored by White Claw, and you're in the 1% now. That's what I remember. I don't remember the deets.
That's awesome. Now, you have quite the personality, just seeing you here and the promos and different things that you've cut at some of these events that I've been to. Is that
We've
your...
heard some about the car rides and some of the colorful stories you told, so...
Is that is the promos your strong suit? Is that just your natural personality, or?
Yeah, when I first started, I kind of weird with promos, like when I was during my training, and then it's like once I actually debuted and got in the ring, it just clicked, and they just fly off my tongue, and whatever I say, and it just happens, and I guess I'm pretty decent at them.
We have got a great guest with us today. Colt Killbane joins us, and also Mr. McMichaels is here. The man, the myth, the legend. The thorn in Flex Reed's side.
Right, the AirPod Wrestle God.
The AirPod Wrestle God. There you go.
That's the new gimmick. That's it.
You're welcome.
I gotta get that Apple sponsorship now.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you want to be sponsored by them since they're freezing up your computer.
Oh my God!
You're the one on my end with terrible service, sir.
No.
Those
You're
Oklahoma
frozen.
cell phone towers.
You're
Colt,
frozen, bro.
Pixelated there, dude.
That's
It
great.
looks, right now, Derek's frozen, and it looks like he just picked his nose and he's looking at his finger.
Oh, no, that was me. Sorry.
So, I want to know some of these things that last week we just happened to, out of the blue, we called Derek and we were talking, and at one point he's like, well, you got to ask Colt about this, and this. So let's start with the King of the Rats thing. What is this about?
Well,
because you even made reference to it at the beginning with the merch, where you're like, I got to have the rats numbered.
Yeah. I don't really know where that started. Like most things in my life, I'm pretty swift with the ladies, apparently, and unless I'm really drunk. And just one day at a show, someone was like, you're the most over-ratted wrestler I've ever met. And I was like, all right, thank you. I didn't know what the hell to say to it, but kind of took the ball and ran with it and scored a couple touchdowns, I guess.
You got that extra point right
wow.
there, huh? Yeah.
Kick a couple PATs, but my foot's not too accurate. So, at least I got 12 points out the deal.
There you go.
So, one of the things that got mentioned last week, which Derek couldn't keep his straight face when he said this, but apparently there is a member of the video production crew, and you have a nickname for this individual. There he goes again.
Well, there's several that I got nicknames for because I can't remember their actual name. But
He's talking about Scotty the Thoughty.
oh God, I hate that guy. Sorta, kinda.
Scotty's
really.
a nice guy.
He's a nice guy. He just a little bit annoying sometimes. He likes for me to come to his college and cut promos with him, which is pretty fun. I rode a bicycle around one time, and there's a lot of pretty girls that go to his school, and Scott's a fun guy. He just is misunderstood.
He's misunderstood. That's
We love
great.
Scott.
Hey,
did you-
about most serial killers too. You know?
Derek, did you make sure to buy Scott a 50-foot extension cord for the hard cam?
No, I did not. I made him bring his own because
Good.
he's supposed to be a professional and have his own equipment. And he has learned his lesson now.
Yep.
Oh, I'll tell you, I get all sorts of heat from Brittany whenever we go do shoots. I always over prepare. I'll bring things I don't need. I'll bring the extension cord, even though we're not going to plug in.
Good thing.
See, that's what we need. That's what we need.
So,
Here's what I need you to do, Jiggy, at the next KWR event. I just need you to take Scotty under your wing and show him your gear and be
Scotty
like,
the
this
Scotty.
is how you pack.
Yep.
Pack more than you need, just so he can fully understand this concept.
Because I get killed every year we go to Vegas to interview the porn stars because I'm
Oh,
always taking
boy, that's not
everything with me. She's like, we don't need to take the fucking banners. So, but I'll pack them. I'll pack them and bring them. You know, I think she's mad because I made her haul them around the Hard Rock Hotel one year. And those banners are pretty damn heavy, so I can see why. Maybe.
You bastard.
So, Colt
I don't
Killbane,
blame
what is the plan as far as you wrestling? Are you one of these guys that's, oh, I gotta get to WWE, even though they probably wouldn't use you right and.
I don't know. I mean, I would definitely not turn down the money and everything that could bring, but oh yeah, the little bit higher quality there sometimes. But really, my goal is just to eventually really make a living, whether that be with a major company or do a Joey Ryan thing. I'm not gonna let dudes touch my wong, but like to make the money he's making, sling some merch, work some shows, and make a good living wrestling, whether that be with a company or on the independent scene.
That's awesome. So, who are some of the different people that you've trained with and worked with that people would know? Just from
I've done seminars with guys like Abyss, and I've done a lot of Trevor Murdoch seminars, which are some of my favorites because that dude, the way he works is, I feel, similar to the way I work, under that flippy bullshit. Matt Stryker, I did a seminar with Matt Stryker when I was like 13 or 14. That was forever ago. I did a Mike Quackenbush, which a lot of people don't know who he is, but if you're in the wrestling business, I feel you should, because you can learn a lot from him.
Yeah, he's a great trainer.
Yep. And then trying to think of who else. That's really it. I've worked a lot of shows for Bostic that I've got to pick the brain of guys like Chavo and MVP, and even I sat down for 6 hours and shot the shit with Ryback one time, and everybody hates that dude, but he was awesome to me.
Well, you know what's funny about that is that when he was in Wichita at the Cotillion for a Bostic show, the dude was not a bad guy, and there was all sorts of people that were telling me, oh, I can't wait to meet this guy or this guy, and I'm like, well, Ryback, and they're like, yeah, he's a prick, and I talked to
that's the show I talked to. He sat down next to me backstage or in the locker room, and I was like, all right, cool. I'm not gonna be that weirdo that doesn't talk to people around me. I just started talking to him, and he was cool as hell.
Yeah, he seems like a really cool guy, and
Yeah.
it's like, okay, well, I guess maybe he's rubbed some people the wrong way, and that's why everybody thinks he's a prick or something. I don't know.
It's mainly CM Punk, but that's the same guy that'll cry about having to put Dwayne Johnson over at the Royal Rumble. So, I mean, if they wanted me to put The Rock over at the Royal Rumble, I'd be like, you got it. I'm in the ring with The Rock. I've done something right.
By the way, we have a Facebook comment from a Chris Porter. He wants to know who the chick in the top right is. I'm assuming he's talking about Derek. So
Fuck you, Chris Crazy.
Who?
Now,
What do you mean?
so
He's kind of a jerk sometimes.
And he looks like the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man.
What?
Yeah, he looks like the angry version of the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man,
Spider-Man.
like in Spider-Man 3 when he gets all pissed off. That's what he looks like.
That's awesome. I'm never gonna be able to unsee that now.
I just do a side by side of them. They look alike.
He yelled that at him at the last
did.
KWR show.
I did not know he was coming down to the ring to cut a promo. I was sitting there, and all of a sudden there's Tobey Maguire, and I'm like, holy shit, it's Spider-Man.
That is great. So since Colt Killbane didn't have a very interesting story on how he ended up in the 1%, Derek, how did he end up in the 1%?
All right, so Killbane came in with this absolute jackass of a person who I'll mention his name, Dexter Hardaway. He's a jackass. He came in.
Don't put
I'm not
him
putting him over.
No, he's burying him.
Saying his name is enough of a rub in his book.
That's true. It is. Damn it. So he came in with him, and Dexter was a great in-ring worker. I'll say that. I'll put him over that way. He's a great in-ring worker. Fans loved him, but the boys did not. And that's important to me. But all of us loved Killbane. We loved seeing him. And in the ring and behind, in the locker room, he was. I mean, he's who you see before you. He's hilarious.
Yeah, he's great.
We got a party bus, and he was hanging off of the rails upside down inside the party bus.
That was amazing.
I'm surprised you remember it.
I'm like an elephant. I got like a brain that just is so dense and thick. I don't forget anything. Just to go to high school, I had to do like 8 Saturday schools once.
So anyway,
Wow.
as Chris
He
Crazy
says senior was the toughest 3 years of his life. So
It's actually 4.
he's the only one that could legally vote in junior high. But
That's right.
as we
I'm
get
bad with the comedy. Sorry.
as we were getting closer to the end of Chris Crazy's wrestling career, we had Money Crazy Inc. going with King Money and Chris Crazy, and I thought, how can I fill the void of Chris leaving, and also piss off as many people in Kansas wrestling as possible?
Shouldn't have a problem with that. Gosh.
You chose a great guy for that.
I know what I'll do. I'll reform the 1% because every other Kansas wrestling company said that the 1% was the faction that must not be named. We were Lord Voldemort of professional wrestling. And I said, I'll reform the 1%. We'll do a new 1%. And I thought, who are the guys that I should put in this? And immediately, obviously, we had myself and King Money, original members of the 1%. Outlaw was a member of the original 1%, so that was a no-brainer. Outlaw had Trixie with him. She just came along. I thought, okay, great. This will be essentially our baby doll.
Yeah.
If you know, that's a reference to the old Dangerous Alliance.
Yep.
And then I thought, you know, we need a young up-and-coming kid, essentially our equivalent of Randy Orton when Randy Orton was in Evolution. And we need a heavy. And so immediately I thought of the Monster Havoc as our heavy, and then I thought of Colt Killbane because he was oozing with personality, and we hadn't done much with him yet. He didn't have a proper place, and I thought, you know, I'll strap my my saddle to this horse, and we'll see where it takes us. And we've been rolling ever since. And then, you know, as we went on, we added Prince Mahali before Prince Mahali was out on injury. I hope he's back soon. But yeah, Killbane's been tearing it up in the 1%, and he's really taken to the whole gimmick of being in that faction. I think more than some people did that were in the original 1%. Jerry Bostic.
He's in the 1%.
He's in the original 1%.
He was in the
He needs to-
original one.
He needs to
Not
be
very
in-
long.
You have to stick with 1% because 2% would have confused too many people. So
So Colt Killbane, tell me about some of this merch that you've got out there, because I've seen some of these shirts that you have at the shows. That they are very entertaining. Is this stuff designed by you, or?
A majority of it, yeah. I got my main one that I wear like every show. That I just found that bullet with the in the mouth on Google. I was like, that's pretty cool. I'm gonna use it, and so I did.
So I did.
And then that one in the back corner up there was actually designed by Bobby Z of the Elite Wrestling Association, who's a amazing anything with graphics on a computer or tattoos. He's a great tattoo artist, which I need to get some ink done by him someday, hopefully. But he designed that. I wish it had my beard, but at the time that I met with him and did the kind of pre-interviews and such, I didn't have a beard, which was a mistake. I should have just never shaved it. But you live and you learn, I guess. And yeah, and then I got the one that's a knockoff of the Led Zeppelin cover somewhere, the Mothership album, but it says Murder Man. So hopefully Robert Plant's old ass doesn't get mad and try to sue me someday, but I'll put his ass in the figure 4 leg lock and teach him a lesson if I have to.
Wow. Well, and you know, if Robert Plant and you were to get booked on the same show, there would be a whole bunch of people in Kansas wrestling that'll say, that'll never draw. So,
I'm sorry. Sorry, look.
there's all sorts of people that would say, oh, Robert Plant coming to Salina? I don't want to go see that.
You mean the same people that were saying Joey Ryan won't draw in Kansas?
Yeah.
That's right. And then
That'll never work. People will hate it. Who's laughing now, bitch?
So
apparently Jiggy and me and Colt are. So
yes. So
You guys have disappeared and Derek is frozen again. Them goddamn AirPods, man.
Your service is terrible.
Y'all look,
your service
y'all are
is
just fine on my phone.
terrible.
But
So what do you envision Colt Killbane to do at some point? Is Colt Killbane wanting to be a world champion, or is Colt Killbane just fine with being Colt Killbane? And wherever you go is wherever you go.
I mean, I go with the flow pretty much, but I feel sorry for any world champion that ever has to wrestle me with their title on the line, because they're not going to walk. They're going to walk away with about 14 pounds less in their suitcase that night. Maybe not. I might replace that weight with a 14-pound shit or something, but it's not going to be the same.
Jesus.
That's definitely a Randy Orton clone there. There you go, buddy.
So Derek, do you see Colt Killbane as a world champion or a tag team champion or something at some point with KWR, or is he just going to be like a hired gun for the 1% kind of thing?
Well, in the very immediate future, I see him taking out that clown Brandon Groom and winning the KWR Television Championship. No, Brandon Groom's a great competitor.
No, I like Brandon. He's great.
He's Jesus's favorite wrestler. So there's that. He's got that going for him. But he's not going to have the KWR Television Championship. Colt Killbane will have the distinction of being the first ever television champion, and who knows? We're always looking for somebody in the 1% to take out Joey Ryan, bastard, suckers.
I'll do it.
But no,
I'll do it.
I do see Killbane being a heavyweight champion definitely for an independent promotion, if not multiple independent promotions, and I see him getting signed somewhere within the next few years, if not very soon, sooner than that. So we're going to take full advantage of him as long as we can while he's here.
Yeah, because I hear that a lot from folks, that Colt Killbane is not going to be hanging around Kansas Wrestling Revolution too long. Somebody's going to sign you.
Ask Dan Adams about him. He'll tell you that.
Who?
I'm kidding. I gotta hear this. What Dan had to say? Someone like Dan Adams, I hold in very high regard, and there's not few people that I care what their opinion is about me, but someone like Dan, I do very much so care about his opinion.
Dan, to me, multiple times has said that he looks at you and he sees Randy Orton in terms of the ability, the hunger, and the right attitude to go far in the business.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know. I think he would tell you that to your face, but I just don't think he's had the opportunity because we're always so busy, But he's told me that a number of times. There's a reason he was so eager to work you that night in Hoisington when the opportunity presented itself.
I was pretty thrilled when, as much as I wanted to wrestle Fuel, I was pretty ecstatic when, not that his car, slammed into the side of the wall driving on ice or anything, because that's horrible. But getting to wrestle Dan, I was very proud of, and that match is on my YouTube for anyone who would like to comment, subscribe. And there's actually a little a balance thing on this. I don't know how Skype works, but I see a little balance up in the corner. So if any of y'all want to send me some money, I'm not stopping you. I'm not going to tell you not to do it. But
look at that. Always pimping.
Yep. Try
Hustler.
to. But I'll have to sit down with Dan sometime, and I take that as a really nice because Orton's. A lot of people think Orton's overrated, and gets the push too much. But I'm like, you got to think they go back to Orton because he's reliable. Anybody that
that's
works
the thing.
and gets over, and anybody that's in the ring with him is going to have a good match. And people complain that all he does is stomp and kick. Well, he's selling out arenas and main eventing pay-per-views, stomping and punching people. So he doesn't need to do anything else.
Old cousin Chris used to refer to Randy Orton as a cookie cutter, which, I kind of look at it the way that you describe it. He's selling out arenas all over the country. So
Same thing with
That
Hogan.
that cookie cutter thing must be working.
Everyone bitches about Hulk Hogan only doing the big boot and leg drop, but because of that, he had longer longevity. He sold out arenas in 83, 93, and 2003. And just saying, you don't have to do backflips and break your neck to attempt to be over.
See, I always thought of Orton more as the type that he rubbed the people the wrong way because of his attitude. He's always been great in the ring. I mean, if you watch anything he does, there is nobody that has better timing or body control than Randy Orton.
Yep.
I mean, those are the two main things that nobody can say they are better, because he's pulled off some of those diamond cutters or, RKOs, whatever you want to call it, from some of the wildest positions, and it looks good, and you've got to have superb timing and body control to do it.
Yep.
Well, the thing about Randy Orton, where people say they don't like his attitude, I think goes back because he's a little bit cocky. But you know what? I think that in not just professional wrestling, but the entertainment business in general, you have to have a little bit of an ego to actually be successful, to be that top guy. You have to believe 100% beyond a shadow of a doubt that when you step through that curtain, you are the absolute best at what you are doing. Because if you don't believe it, the fans won't believe it. And Randy Orton believes that because he is it. You know, people say the same thing. I know Killbane doesn't really like him, but people said the same thing about CM Punk for the longest time. Punk really believed he was the best in the world, and he had to become, at that time, the best in the world.
And then he cried because he had to put over the Rock.
Oh, goodness.
Wow. I should have taken that call when they called a second ago. I had somebody from a no-call ID call me on my cell phone, and I'm like, who is this? And they left the weirdest voicemail. I should have taken it. Killbane would have had a blast with him.
Wasn't he wearing a podcast guy?
No. And it wasn't your new favorite wrestler, Jimmy the Funk, either.
Young boy.
I like the kid, but I mean, he rubbed me the wrong way with that one incident there.
So is
a bitter old man and hold it against it. So.
Is he the young boy? Because I heard last week that we've got to talk to you about this wrestler named the Young Boy. Who is the Young Boy? Tell us about.
That is Jimmy the Funk Osborne. Him and Derek rolled up to my crib one night before a show in Detroit, Texas, and
we're gonna get to that too. Go ahead.
Yeah, Jimmy the Funk Osborne. Got a little bit too big for his britches, and we went to Twin Peaks, and he didn't know how to flirt with any of the waitresses to get no free drinks or nothing. As a matter of fact, that Twin Peaks closed down, and I'm pretty sure it's because Jimmy the Funk Osborne freaked out all the waitresses. And half those girls I went to high school with, so I'm really mad because some of my friends are now unemployed. Thanks, Jimmy. Damn young boy.
So, Derek, you were getting ready to say something. You said this whole story.
Here's the story behind.
My bad, I cut you off.
No. I like that the Twin Peaks went out of business because Jimmy doesn't know how to flirt with women.
I'll post a picture of it next time I'm by there. The neon signs, the big buck statue in the freaking front lawn is gone.
Okay.
That's not the one where everybody got shot up at, or was that farther down in Texas?
That was down in Texas. I'm in Oklahoma. We're a little bit higher class and got better football teams too.
That's great.
And they have Joe Exotic. So
that too.
Yeah. And Safari Joe.
Who's Safari Joe?
He's another exotic I don't know what you call
Lions
it,
tamer or whatever.
animal activist. He now owns. There was a big water park called Big Splash. It's now called Safari Joe H2O, and this dude's like straight up. His
Wow.
vocabulary is like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles vocabulary. I was 16 years old swimming at his water park, and he just drives around on a golf cart, probably looking at girls because, I don't know. I don't blame him. I mean, there's some very gorgeous women that go to Safari Joe's water park, but he sees me in the water, and he goes, "Cowabunga, dude," and tosses me a beer and doesn't ID me or anything. And at the time, I was 16, but that wasn't any of his business.
Wow. Hell of a deal.
Oh,
You,
yeah. It was great.
you just.
As long as he didn't offer you some meth or anything.
Well,
like the other
that
guys, that's
too.
good.
That too.
Nope.
So,
Turns out I went to high school with his stepson too, which was interesting. Would have never guessed that.
oh my God, you're just so full of stories. This is great. So, okay, explain to me this Detroit, Texas thing or whatever, because
Oh boy.
So here's what happened. So we're doing a show for Jerry Bostic in Wichita, and he walks up to Killbane and I, and he goes, "You guys want to do a show in Detroit?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll go to Detroit. Hell yeah!" And he's like, "No, Detroit, Texas."
Yeah, that he caught me off guard with that. I was excited as fuck. I was like, "Detroit, Rock City, hell yeah!"
This was Detroit, no city. This was not a city.
Yeah, not
Detroit, no city.
The show was fun. It drew really well.
It did draw. I was surprised.
Small Texas town. But anyway, so I asked. I've not too many people know this, but Jimmy the Funk has started. He's one of the owners of KWR. We break kayfabe on this podcast.
Oh yeah, we do constantly.
Yeah, there's not a lot. Yeah. Anyways, so
Young boy's a good boy.
Jimmy the Funk he's in the early stages of being a promoter. Doesn't know much about the promoting side of things. So I said I would take him under my wing and I would teach him the same way that I learned. He needed to just sit in locker rooms and listen to people. And he needed to just shadow promoters at shows. Because that's how I learned, is just by shadowing Dan Adams.
Yep. And if you're going to learn from somebody, that's the guy to learn from.
Right. Yep. So I had him come to this Wichita show with me, and then I heard about Detroit, and I said, "Jimmy, can you come down there with me?" And he said, "Oh, awesome. Let's go." So in Japan, they have a tradition where the young up-and-coming guys in the business, the trainees, are called young boys.
Oh, here we go.
I thought they were called young lions.
That's New Japan, but the young boys are in like some of the other dojos. They call them young boys.
Oh, so pro wrestling Noah and stuff like that.
Yeah,
like all Japan was that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, DDT Pro, where they wrestle blow-up dolls. Hey, Jiggy, you might interview somebody over there.
Hey, and I'll tell you, they're getting ready to do the first ever Zoom pro wrestling match. I don't know if you guys have heard about this, but that DDT Pro is going to basically, they're going to pipe in crowd noise over Zoom, and they're going to have these two guys, and they're going to be in two different spots, and apparently they're going to wrestle. And the first 5 to 10 people who get involved in this thing, they can listen to the commentary. So
okay, so I'm the guy that books the dick guy, and even I'm like, no, you've gone too far at this point. You've gone too far.
I'm gonna be 100%. There's a certain quote unquote grizzled old veteran that has anything he doesn't do in pro wrestling, he's got something to say about it. I cannot wait to hear No, not Cornette. This is a lower level guy, but
Okay, sorry.
he's a very grizzled vet. I don't want to name. I personally have no problems with the guy. I've worked him in a few matches and had great matches with him, so I have no beef. But it seems like anything he's not involved in wrestling, he seems to absolutely hate. So I can't wait to read his chapter book that he posts on Facebook about this Zoom match and how much he hated it.
So we've got young boy Jimmy Osborne.
Okay. So we called him. So let me get back to this.
Okay. Yes, go.
Back to the ranch here.
Yes.
So I decided that weekend, if Jimmy pissed us off in any way, we were just gonna start calling him Young Boy the whole fucking weekend. I don't know what he did.
He really didn't even piss me off.
No, we just started calling him Young Boy, and he got so angry.
He did.
At one point, he was like, because we had him drive the whole time.
I hate driving.
We didn't switch off. But in our defense, he didn't ask us to either.
Bro, I got carpal tunnel in my foot. That shit hurts.
But anyways, he did something. He said something, and we started calling him Young Boy the whole weekend. And we even got guys in the locker room to call him Young Boy.
Stephen Bonner did.
Stephen Bonner. UFC Hall of Famer Stephen Bonner started calling him Young Boy, and he was so pissed.
That night, Stephen Bonner forever became my spirit animal.
I'm also last week I was also asked to ask you about Stephen Bonner's Instagram. What is this about?
Oh God! So Stephen Bonner,
magical.
It's Stephen Bonner's just a magical person. The first time I ever met him, I was confused as if it was the real Stephen Bonner until I got confirmation. I'm like, that's the Stephen Bonner that fought John Jones and fought Forrest Griffin.
Yes.
And they were like, yes, that is. I was like, all right, that's awesome. So me being me, a fan of him, I set my merch by his merch table.
Oh boy.
And I will say something for people that work out and got to eat this bland stuff. I don't think Stephen Bonner's got taste buds, because I've seen that dude crack a can of tuna and grab a fork and just start chowing down like it was a chocolate bar or something.
Wow.
My first ever interaction with him, though, was he's sitting at his merch table and he peels a banana. And he's sitting there with the banana and he's just looking at it. And I'm like, all right. So I started a conversation with him. I was like, are you going to eat that or just look at it, bro? Just trying to be funny. He goes, I think I'll save it for later. And he grabs the peel and goes like that and puts that damn banana in the pocket of his cargo pants.
Wow.
I imagine by the end of the night, he had some banana fucking pudding.
Cargo pants.
He's crazy, man. In the best possible ways. Yeah. He's awesome.
Jiggy, KJ Everly, right?
Oh, yes.
So KJ is a monster. 320 pounds.
Dude's massive.
Stephen Bonner, we're all in the ring doing our little pray, because most promoters, pray that none of us break our fucking necks and shit and give glory to God, which is a good thing. And
That's
I think,
great. We do this praise so we don't break our fucking necks.
So we're all in the ring praying, and KJ goes to step up on the ring, and Stephen Bonner goes, "Oh, I'll help you, buddy." And he sticks his arm out for KJ. And KJ said he went to step on the ring and didn't have to, because Stephen Bonner, with one arm, curled KJ's big ass up into the ring.
Holy shit.
Yeah. I was like, I laughed for like 45 minutes, because I'm like, you're a big motherfucker, KJ. That dude curled you with one arm. And he swears to God. And then, so that show in Detroit, Stephen Bonner shows up, and as you're driving there's only it's one of them weird, Jason Voorhees lives in this town, because there's only one way in and one way out. And going
Jason
in,
Voorhees lives in this town.
there's a sign that says population like 637. And we get in the locker room, and Stephen Bonner looks at me and Derek and Young Boy and goes, I like the sign. He goes, if someone pops a baby out, do they go out there with a Sharpie and mark it off and do like a +1?
Yes.
And we just start laughing. And we're all sitting there, and he somehow starts talking about milk. And he's like, I don't get why people don't drink milk. He goes, I was raised on a dairy farm. It doesn't make me shit my brains out. I was like, I like milk too. I'm like, it's perfect for after you work out and stuff. He goes, so here's what you do. You spend $20 on a gallon of milk. And I'm like, I think the dude lives in Vegas. I'm like, damn, inflation's that bad? A gallon of milk's $20 in Vegas? I feel sorry for Stephen Bonner, but he's like, you get $20, you pay for your milk, you get a scoop of protein and an egg. He goes, he picks up a little ass water bottle with a little hole about that big. And he goes, you crack all that in there and shake it up. He goes, oh, hell yeah, that's a meal right there. I'm like,
wow.
what the fuck?
By the way, we have I've got to get to a couple of these comments and questions. Apparently, the Outlaw has said that he'll just take care.
Jimmy the Jelly Bean.
He'll take care of Joey Ryan, and Jimmy the Jelly Bean is a new name, and apparently there is this Chris Porter individual is back. And he wants to know, does Killbane have any aspirations to challenge for the Heartland Championship, the most prestigious title in Kansas, of course?
I'll be 100. I don't even know what the hell that is.
Boom! Mic drop.
But, I mean, I'll take it and make it into something worth looking at.
That's awesome.
I told you.
He's great. COLT Killbane. You ought to do stand-up comedy. You've got some good lines.
I really want to, and there's a... Speaking of Scotty the Thotty, the camera boy, he does some stand-up comedy at this place called the Looney Bin, and I'm like, yo, Scott, you ought to get me on there. I'd be great. And he goes, I think you would too. And I'm like, is there any like rules, you know, because like I like to say the fuck word and shit and stuff like that. And he's like, oh my God, Colt, no, you can't cuss. And I'm like, well, that's no fucking fun.
That's great.
I'm like, I grew up watching Ron White, okay? And this dude about duck lip, pussy tacos and stuff like that. Like, I wouldn't be able to control myself.
So, where do you see COLT Killbane in like a couple years? Where do you see you?
Well,
3 kids, twice divorced.
No. Maybe one adopted kid and like 8 or 9 girlfriends. But damn sure no.
Because the rats need to have numbers, as you said earlier.
Yeah. they're like that Cat in the Hat book, thing 1, thing 2. I got rat 1, rat 2, red fish, blue fish. I can't see red though, so it'll be like gray fish, blue fish, green fish.
He's colorblind. That's another thing.
You want to know? Whoever runs the lights at KWR is cruel, because half of them damn things are like red and orange and colors I can't see very well. So I'm walking to the ring. I'm blind until I get about halfway through the freaking floor and I can see the actual ring.
Wow.
I need to get me some sunglasses or something.
There
I'm
you
gonna
go.
fall off that damn stage someday.
You know what is funny about this? I've always wondered why no one has. John, in all the years you've been doing stuff in Hoisington, has anybody fallen off that stage?
Now I came close to falling down those damn steps on the side of the wall almost once. Because, I mean, I have a hard time sometimes with the bright lights kind of blinding me off. So I'm going there to take a step down, almost miss it. Catch it with my heel, and I'm like, okay. Of course, I was like the chicken shit heel, too, so it made perfect sense anyway. Yeah, you got to think, 300-pounder all of a sudden missing a step wouldn't be a fun sight.
Those steps are killer.
Yeah,
they're
like little tiny ones. You almost have to go down sideways.
And they're at like a 93% angle, like degree angle. Like, damn near, you might be better off just falling off the damn stage.
You almost have to be like Spider-Man over there. So
I know, Chris Porter, like spray some guardrails with your lead, like, you know what I'm talking about, man? I know you do.
Web shooters.
Chris Porter and his web shooters.
Sorry, I was a comic geek growing up, so
yeah.
So
still a geek, but just not.
I'm surprised.
Not a geek as much. So.
Speaking of Spider-Man, the last KWR show.
Yes.
I had to tape my hand up with about 3 rolls of tape because the night before I got bitten by a fucking spider in the exact same. There's a scar right here.
Jesus.
That scar tissue from where I had. I'll get to the part about me popping it open and getting all the stuff out of it. But, I show up and the whole car ride, like I look down at my hand and it looks like some 90s Nickelodeon shit where like they'd smash their hand and it'd swell up real big. But this wasn't a prosthetic from Nickelodeon's warehouse. This was a real fucking hand. And I go up to the Outlaw, and he's like, bro, that thing's full of pus. And I'm like, you're joking with me. And turns out Dan Adams' wife's a nurse. And she's like, you're going to need some oral antibiotic. And I'm like, the fuck if I am? I don't want to go to the doctor. I'm like, you're the nurse. Just tell me what I need. She's like, so about 18 times that night, like, all in good nature, she was like, you need some oral antibiotic, make sure to go to the doctor. I'm like, well, this thing's pretty damn big, like about the size of my head. I better go. There's nothing in poison pen.
Oh,
so
yeah. Yeah, there's a Sonic there. I remember a few years ago when they put the Sonic in. Lunatic Lenny was all about the Sonic.
Well, there's a Sonic there? Is there a Sonic there?
They closed down about 2 years ago, from what I heard.
Yeah. Because when I went, there's only a Dairy Queen, and that stuff's like eating cardboard with fucking ketchup on it. But so me, Thrash, and KJ, to break a little kayfabe, because we're all friends. Well, me and Thrash are a tag team, but everybody thinks me and KJ hate each other. I don't hate the kid. He just can't beat me. I beat him 87,000 times.
That's great.
So we go over to the gas station looking for some triple antibiotic to put on this spider bite. So I'm like, at least something to kind of numb it down and hopefully make it go away, which I knew that wasn't going to happen. And I go in the section, and all there is, this is how I know there's some overweight people that live in Hutchinson, Kansas, because all their medicine aisle full of was Pepto-Bismol, Tums, and diarrhea medicine for like 20 feet. And at the very end...
Hoisington.
Yeah, Hoisington. Hutchinson might be the same way. I don't know.
Well, talk to John. He's bashing up people from Hutchinson.
Finally, at the end, I find a bottle of Neosporin, and I'm like, well, this is going to have to do. I lather it up and tape it up, and my hand looks like a boxing glove that night.
Holy shit.
And it freaking, at one point, I forgot what I did, or Paul, when he did his moonsault onto me, like his elbow had smashed into it, and I about screamed like a little boy, but I'm a man, so I held it in. But it hurt. Man.
Yeah, Derek was telling me about a time that he had something pus-filled and stuff, but it wasn't a spider bite. But...
Back to Tulsa, and this thing dropped, and I'm like, I got to get the pus out of this thing, so... I'm in the bathroom trying to squeeze on it, and it's hard as a damn rock.
That's what she said.
I squeeze on it. So I'm squeezing on it and squeezing on it. I'm like, this shit hurts too bad. So finally I'm like, I gotta pop it. So I put a towel in my mouth to bite down on because I'm like, mama didn't raise no bitch. I got a towel and squeezing it. And finally, I hear it rip open, and it sounds like when you grab Velcro and you rip it apart.
Oh, fuck.
And I look down, and there's a chunk of pus on the top of my hand about the size of a McDonald's chicken nugget.
Holy shit.
And it wouldn't come out. So I had to get tweezers and pull the shit off my hand.
Oh, fuck.
And then I put a Band-Aid on it, and that's the rest of the story. Now I just got a scar. Didn't turn into Spider-Man or something. So that whole book and movie series is a big fucking lie.
Book in the movie series. Big fucking lie.
He brought it back to Spider-Man.
Yeah, the nuclear power plant's in the east part of the state. So.
That's right.
Hey, man.
So, this whole thing has been hilarious tonight, by the way. We are gonna have to definitely do this again because you've got I know you're just getting started. You got a lot of stories.
I could go on for days.
Well, what I love is he's so subtle about it. It's just kind of.
Oh yeah.
Hey, yeah, that wasn't like he was trying to be a smart ass guy like me. He's just real subtle. It's kind of like, hey,
yeah.
You're just like.
You're great.
Thank you. I try my best. I noticed a lot of people go through life with like what seems to be a stick shoved up their ass, and they don't look happy, and they can't take a joke, and everything's so serious. And I'm like, that must be a boring fucking life.
That, or they think they're the only essential wrestler and they got a bad haircut. We won't get into that here. So,
I'm hoping
the
with
most generic name of all time.
I'm hoping with this COVID-19 stuff, the whole country's, in a pandemic and people are out of work, and there's a lot of wrestlers who want to be a wrestler but don't have a job in general, and they don't have gear or boots, or they got big guts because they eat a lot of mac and cheese or something. And I hope it weeds out the people that truly don't belong here.
Well, everything you just described, and I hate to say this when I'm doing this to Pop Derek, you've just talked about an entire wrestling organization in Kansas. But
damn, not that bad, okay.
And one of their guys has a belt and wears a mask, but he won't come on this show. I've asked him. But
really, you gotta tell me that story. Get him and I on it at the same time.
Oh, that would be so much fun.
I just because Jim Carrey had a movie called The Mask does not mean you should throw one on and call yourself a pro wrestler.
That's right. That's great. It's kind of like the old Bobby the Brain Eaton thing with the luchadors. It's like, who's gonna win? Guy in the mask. Well, I guess before we let you guys go. Oh yeah. John's got this mask that says security on it.
The gimmick we did more good security.
Great.
Give me a second.
He's gonna put it on. Give him a second here. He had this on one day when we were doing this show. Fitness had his mask on, and John put his on.
That's amazing.
Oh my God.
That is.
It's not bad.
Will you please
Because
tell
all the
security
people
for
need to know.
What's up?
Oh my God, we should have him be a security guard for the 1% again. In that mask.
In that mask. He could be security.
That's great. Good idea. Let's book it, John.
So, I guess before we let
fantastic.
everybody go, I want to start with Mr. Killbane. How do we find you online, get all your stuff, and buy your merch and everything else?
You can find me on Instagram at murderman_Killbane for all my witty, beautiful photos of my bald head and my beard that I post on there. Twitter is at COlt Killbane, and then Facebook, my like page is The Murder Man Killbane. I got a YouTube that's COlt Killbane, and I have an Instagram that is, you guessed it, not an Instagram, a TikTok that you guessed it is COlt Killbane.
That's awesome.
I'm TikTok too. It's my way into the porn industry because that's as long as I can last. But,
Oh man.
So Derek, run it down for us. How do we see Kansas Wrestling Revolution and everything else?
You can find us. You can find us on Facebook at Kansas Wrestling Revolution. Find us on Instagram at Kansas Wrestling Revolution. Find us on IWTV. If you use the promo code KS Wrestling, you will get 20 days free for IWTV.
That's damn near a month for those of you who can't math.
You can find me on Instagram and Facebook at Merrick McMichaels. I do not have a TikTok because I'm a grown-ass man.
Wow.
But
you can last more than 15 seconds.
Very true. Well, I don't know.
That's what he said, yeah.
It's been a long quarantine, so I don't know.
Well, everybody,
you could.
What's
my
up?
bad, I didn't mean to.
No, go, jump in there.
If you're
You're the
willing to
guest.
pay $1 a month, you can find my Brazzers account. I'm just trying to get a Bella Danger to come give me some company or something. Or
Bella Danger. I am gonna try to hit her up and see if she'll do a Skype interview with us sometime.
that would be fantastic.
We'll get you on with the Bella Danger. Hell, at this point, I got all sorts of people going, I got nothing to do. Let's knock the porn star.
You need to get Killbane on with some porn stars. Oh my god. That content gold, Jiggy.
That would be.
You know, Sunday I have a guy by the name of Porn Jesus coming on. Maybe we ought to have Colt Killbane come on and chat with Porn Jesus. Now that you know how to do Skype, well,
I'm still confused. I'll probably never hang up on this call because I don't know how. But,
It's a little red like phone symbol that you hit.
That's right.
It took me a long time to figure it out too, so don't feel bad.
Well,
if only I could see red.
Oh, yeah, sorry, dude.
I
Just
appreciate
flicker
it.
the thing that has a phone headset on it.
I'll just turn my
Jiggy's trying to
laptop
wrap it
off.
up, you clown.
Hey, take it easy.
We've got shit to do.
Love it. No, I just think this
Choir.
is great. I love that. He's trying to wrap this up. Well,
Look at this, and we're done.
there you go. Well, hopefully, maybe we could get Jimmy Osborne on at some point. The young boy, and chat with him.
Boring interview you've ever had.
Get him
Sounds good.
on there. Get him on there with a porn star. I bet he won't even talk.
Don't tell him it's going to be a male porn star,
young boy.
so that'll really shock him and he won't say anything.
That's right. I had one of my, one of my photographers, Chris Ortiz. He wanted to interview porn stars, and I got him a male porn star, and it was a gay porn star, and he didn't say much.
Wow.
So there is that. There is that. Well, Killbane.
I will say that
What's up?
one you had about the library masturbation girl.
Kendra.
Yeah, I was scrolling down through Facebook when you were on there, and I was like, I've seen her somewhere. So I click on it, and she starts talking about that video that made her famous, and I was like, I remember when I was in 8th grade.
Okay. Funny story there. The college she went to, when she did that, guess what the mascot is for them?
Beavers?
Yeah, the Beavers.
Oh,
Yeah, Oregon State Beavers.
of course.
Of course.
You
How fitting, right?
That's fantastic.
Bum.
Well, Killbane, this has been fun. Derek, thanks for setting this up, and John, thanks for riding shotgun, and we'll have to do this again.
Absolutely.
And you guys have a wonderful evening. I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks, guys.
See ya. I'm gonna try to hang up. Hopefully I can find it.
That's awesome.